Heroquest is the best game ever made. Anyone else says otherwise is wrong. The best thing about Heroquest is, actually everything about Heroquest is pretty amazing. So in this video we're going to be unboxing the new, maybe improved Heroquest. So obviously Heroquest is full of nostalgia. A lot of us played it way back when. And I have seen online a few people are upset about this game because the potential for these models are great. For example, the gargoyle could look absolutely flipping amazing. Everything could be multi-part kit. But I am just glad that each model in this box is a single model, it's not multi-part at all, and it's a nod to the original. So yes, it could have been amazing, could have had blistering miniatures, but then it wouldn't have had the same feel. For us, way back when, who's played Heroquest, yes, I suppose a modern age, new people who've never played Heroquest, they could pick this up and go, models aren't all that. But I really think this box is pretty much for those die-hard fans. So everything screams this is Heroquest without even having the title on there. The glorious artwork from the original box, illustrated by Les Edwards, and it's got the exact same pose with the barbarian key slap bang in the center as before. So in the same pose, sword swinging, even in the same angle. Still got a lightning bolt, some kind of arcane energy being cast in the background, but it is a different picture. But it's still got the original nod to the old box. And way back when the original box was out, 89, it was more a more realistic picture. I would say this one is slightly more cartoony, smoother skin tones, but you know, technology has come on. I just still prefer the classics. Not saying it's any worse. It's still pretty nice. I don't know who to give credit to for the box art. I do know that there's two artists involved with the cards inside the box, which are really good in themselves, which is Max Dunbar and Nikki Dawes. And you'll see the cards in a minute, and they are lovely. They still kept it retro looking, and I think that is brilliant. And you can see that this box certainly is a lot fatter, but I don't think it is wider than the original from 89. Certainly heavier anyway. And this is what you get in the box. So you can see there, just about with a light, and you'll see it clear in a minute when I get them out, what the cards look like. They're designed to make it look like it's old school fantasy, it's worn, it's beaten up, and the models, like I said, they do look nicer. I think they look nicer. They're not too modern, still got the classic old look. So I can't even do the voice for the guy who does, the best thing about Heroquest is, but that guy is an absolute legend. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen that video if they're watching this video. And the original cardboard terrain has changed and been replaced with plastics as well, which I will get into in a second. So inside the box you have two of these. So you can see that something's rattling around inside there. Two great big trays with cardboard sleeves, so you just slide off like so. I'll do that off a camera in a minute. So, pan back slightly. In the one of the boxes, one of the trays, you have the miniatures. So one thing I don't like, which it is only temporarily, is the packaging. So the packaging really was designed to keep the miniatures safe in transport, but you've really got to fight. The orcs are the easiest ones to get out of the boxes. You've really got to fight to get them out. The skeletons, I'm quite concerned because the spinal column might break trying to bust them out. But some of these heroes and monsters are quite hard to get out of the plastic. So I don't know, the more I try popping them out, the easier they might be to remove from the plastic, but I doubt it very, very much. So I might have to, because the box is so deep and it's got a filler layer in it as well, so all the models are nice and secure. I'll remove the filler layer in future, make a nice maybe gridded section I could just slot into the box and put the miniatures in place, because they're not going to break. They are very, very hardy, but they are so hard to pop out, and I don't want to have to pop them out every time I play, because I am going to use this Heroquest box. I am going to play some games, and I don't want to break the models, because you don't like to break them rattling around in the box, but they are quite hard, especially, like I said, the skeletons getting out of there. Yeah, so that one wasn't so bad. But yes, single piece miniatures. The detail isn't too bad. Obviously, if you wanted to clean up a little bit of the mold lines and things like that, you can see it around his mace there. But that's not bad. That's not bad. They're not the world's best miniatures. They're not like Games Workshop miniatures, for example. I'll pop the barbarian out. They just let go. You need to be a barbarian to get them out. But you can see the detail isn't bad. You know, it obviously is better than the original. I know some people are probably dying right now and screaming at the camera because I said that. But they're modern figures. You know, you want them to be slightly better, but still have that original nostalgic feel. The other thing is, I will zoom in very slightly, the dice. So you still got your classic red dice, your white dice with the exact same symbols. So you pop these out in the same manner. If they just let go. Very, very low plastic. But they're not wooden anymore. They're good old plastic dice. So you still got your skull, 4 wounds allocation. You have your shield, heroic shield, and your monstrous shield, which kind of looks like a bunny rabbit when it's upside down, so that hasn't changed so much. But plastic, it's fine. You know, if you've never played the game before, it's fine. But I still miss the feel of wooden dice. But yes, models have improved, but still kept the original charm. That's great. Dice, obviously same symbols, which I'm glad about, but plastic, not wooden. So I'll put that off to one side. The terrain, pan back ever so slightly. From your cardboard wooden doors with plastic frames, now come one piece plastic, all very hardy, pretty damn good detail, that's not bad. And then when you open said door, the old creaky doors, that is the, fun enough, the open variant. I don't need to tell you that, you know that. You can see, you have eyes. Alright. And then you have the good old classic furniture. So no assembling required, because you had to assemble the previous terrain. So the chair, for example, I believe it used to have the cardboard section in the middle, 2 plastic halves. It's all one piece now. Once again, detail not too bad. Didn't want to make it look too perfect. It does look beaten up, as well it should, for being in a dungeon. Still got your classic like racks, altars, weapon racks, things like that. And they feel nice. They feel nice. They're sturdy. They're not going to break. Well, not unless you really try to break them. I mean, they're obviously not impervious to all physical damage. Pretty sure a rocket launcher would probably destroy most of these. But yeah, the bookcases still very much like the original, but all one-piece plastics. So I really do like the terrain. I think the terrain's wicked. Got your own character sheets here, so when you start your quest, if I can even get it out of the box, come on, take the hint. And what a wedge. How many games are you going to play with that? Look at that. So that's how many body points you got. So really do recommend using a piece of paper. You already have paper, you numpty. A pencil and rubber. So obviously names of your person and then your character names or you can just put down a fun name. So like Barry the Barbarian. I can't think of anything cool right now. Man, I've even hosted and DM'd Dungeons & Dragons campaigns. Why can't I think of a cool name right now? St. John Smythe the Third, or how about Timpkin Nolan Tenby. That's a good name for a halfling, I would say. But yeah, waffling now. Brilliant terrain, really do like it. And here are the classic Heroquest cards. So they give you your cards for your roles, so your dwarf, your barbarian, your elf, and your wizard. And you have your equipment stash. Some are upside down, that bothers me. Some treasure, which you'll pick up obviously as you're playing the game, like raiding rooms or chests, artifacts, specific pieces of equipment, which is quite a few. Next we have the enemies, which I like the cards. It's not too bad, not too shabby at all. There's good feel to them. They feel quite textured, so not too slippy. And there's your classic goblin. Nice, cute and cuddly, right? So on the map where it tells you to put creatures, that's the symbols that are shown. These guys do not have to roll their classic 2 red dice for movement. They already have the fixed movement on the cards, fixed attack dice, defense, body, and mind points. So there's your creatures from skeleton, goblins, classic orcs, and zombies, whatnot. It also comes with 4 cards telling you your basic rules, so cheat sheets summed up, what you can do, what you can't do. So your movement, 2 red dice. You can move and then do an action, or action then do a move, for example. So you've got 4 of those, so 1 for each character. And then we have our powers. So the powers are split up. If you've never played Heroquest before, really should get someone to have a game with you. So you've got your water spells, your earth spells, your fire spells, your air spells, and your enemies spells, which are dread spells. Each one can only be used once, and each one is different. So for example, Cloud of Dread paralyzes all heroes located in the same room. That is obviously an enemy card. That is so strong. Water spell, obviously for the heroes, pick one at random. Veil of Mist. This spell can be cast on any one hero, including yourself. On the hero's next move, it may move through spaces that are occupied by monsters. Really nice. But in the game, the wizard picks one type of spell, so either water, earth, fire, for example. So they pick a house of spells. They'll have, if they want to go water, they'll pick these 3 water. Then the elf picks either the 3 fire, the 3 earth, or the 3 air, and the wizard has the rest. So that hasn't changed at all. Gameplay is very similar. And the artwork is still banging. Like I said, it's a nice feel to the cards. They feel almost textured, so not super smooth, which I always hate. But I do like the art. See the water monster there, water elemental trying to ship. And the artwork does look good. It still looks like the old classic, but it even says 2021 Hasbro. This is the new set, but it does feel nice. It feels still like it's 1989. With my rose-tinted glasses on, I felt like this is what the terrain looked like when I first played Heroquest, when really it was cardboard. And I haven't played a physical copy of Heroquest for a few years, really looked at the piece of the terrain or the miniatures. But in my head, they look more epic than this. Looking back on your childhood, it always does. But, you know, everything feels solid. It feels well made. They have really done it justice. If they didn't, I think there'll be a world of hurt coming down on them. Next we have the good old DM screen. So when you're playing the villain, you get to put this up so your heroes can see this lovely, lovely artwork. Still reminiscent of the original, and inside you have your rules that you can look at. Of course, quick reference charts for each monster. The heroes can see them anyway because you put the goblin or skeleton or zombie card, whatever you're using, in front of them. So they've got no nasty surprises, they know what they can roll, but you still have it in front of you. And you have quick access notes as well, so for the heroes, the monsters, the combat, for example. It's just really, really nice. The only thing is, because it's slightly angled, as you can see if you're looking from above, it's angled, so no one can read your rules. But being so tall myself, I have to have a shorter chair, or I can't also read the rules, because it's tipped that much forward. Speaking of rules, we have the rulebook. Oh, there you go, see? It's almost like a plan there. So inside you have a little bit of the fluff about the mentor. There's talk about Zargon. Zargon is basically the DM, but it's not just a DM. He actually is apparently controlling the monsters. He is the one behind it all. So you know that even from the very, very beginning. Inside, the rules are pretty basic, pretty easy to pick up. After like the first turn, most of your heroes should work out the rules. You cannot attack diagonally or move diagonally in the game unless you've got something special that states you can. That is in close combat. You cannot attack diagonally. Range attacks can be diagonal, as shown here. So as long as you can go through the center of the square you occupy to the center of your monsters, that's definitely possible. But you can't do things like that, so you can't go around the corners, which makes sense. So it's pretty basic. You can search for rooms for traps and treasure. Once again, artwork from the front of the box. I will not show this because I don't want to ruin anybody's quests. But everything feels nice. It's made to look like it was made years ago, even though it's nice quality paper. We have the tokens, which haven't changed that much either. You still got the classic staircase. Obviously you pop all these out when you play the game. You have your rock blocks, so blocked off entrances so you can't go in certain areas on the map. You've got traps that you place down on the maps and secret doors as well, which is really good. So the things you place on the map, what map am I talking about? And there we have it. So you pop out the staircase section and you place in your starting room, wherever that may be. So for example there, and then you put down a door or anything like pieces of furniture, any monsters the hero may see. If they enter a room, they can see straight lines. So if you open a door there and they stand there, they can see the whole of the room, for example. But this is it. This is the same map you use in every single game. And it changes. You don't think it can. When you're a child, it's like, oh, this is going to be boring. But there's routes that are blocked off. So look, there could be a stone wall there, stone wall going across there, so you can't go that way and explore there. Rooms can change. They could have secret doors, things like that. So it was very clever way back when, how you're thinking, oh, it looks a bit boring. How could every adventure be different? It was. And I'm sure it still is now. So they're using very, very similar colours they did previously back in '89. This looks fantastic. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see a bit of the detail. So, it's not just a grey tile in the middle of the room. You've got rocks, you've got like pieces of bone here, bits of scroll and things like that on the floor. I think this is a brilliant nod to the original. If you guys are actually interested, we could always do the playthrough campaign, because there's no point in really me doing how to play Heroquest, because it's literally like a 2-minute video. You know, you roll your 2 red dice, that's your movement. You've got a mission to do, which is a blurb at the beginning of each quest. It may say you must defeat the gargoyle, you must get to a crypt or something like that, and basically you just got to work your way through the map that you can physically see at the time, like corridors may be blocked off, things like that. May not be a door into a certain room you think you can get into. And when you attack a monster, you literally are rolling those white dice as indicated on your card. So your equipment may be a broadsword, because apparently that's the best weapon in the game. So you're rolling your 3 dice, looking for skulls, and when your opponent rolls their dice, the enemy rolling the dice, they're looking for shields to stop. If they can't, they roll those skulls, they do take damage. And it's as basic as that, really. You search rooms to get pieces of equipment, you've just got to work together as a team. Don't split the party if you can help it. So don't be on one side of the map from the other side of your fellow team members, because that generally spells trouble. You always get that one person that runs off, opens a door when they shouldn't do, adding more monsters to the situation, because they just want that treasure. And that's what it's all about. You just got to survive. There's always a piece of gear that you want, like a headpiece, or like the dwarf axe makes you roll 4 dice, which is amazing, but it's so flipping expensive. So you just got to really save your gold that you find in these rooms and survive. And that's basically how to play Heroquest. So it would be quite fun to have some mates around the table and play this. I know a couple of people from the club were interested. I just think it's a really nice box. It's a really nice box. It's not crazy expensive. Obviously, back in '89, I was very, 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 very young. I'm not going to say how old I was. So I didn't obviously buy a copy of HeroQuest. I'm not sure how much the prices were way back then. Obviously, inflation, things like that changes. But I still don't think this box, if you can find it, is crazy expensive. Everything you need to play the game is in the box. You don't need any expansions, even though there is stuff out there. The terrain is hardy. Like I said, doesn't break. The models are good. My only gripe about it was trying to get the models out the flipping packaging. So I might just chuck them in the box or make some foam inserts or something and then put them in the box. But they're generally not going to break unless you're an absolute animal. I think you're more likely to break them trying to get out the packaging. So that's my only gripe really with the box. I know there's some few people out there that are saying, oh, well, you know, you could have had nicer models or the artwork could have been better, but internet trolls, rose-tinted glasses, maybe. But I quite like this. Not just because I bought it, I quite like the look of it. So I'm going to rip off a few character sheets, we're going to roll up some names, make it a bit interesting, make it a bit personal, and have some fun playing the new Heroquest. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. If there's any comments you want to put down below, like your favourite moments when you played Heroquest previously, your initial thoughts on the box if you've got one yourself and you used to have the original, anything like that, we really want to hear from you. Okay, so stay safe everyone. Please subscribe for some more great hobby content. Catch you in the next video.